Yo, peace was good. Willing to install my CD collection. This is part 130. I know it's been a while since I did one. I know some of y'all love when I do my CD collection. So definitely, I appreciate this love and support, man. So definitely, man. Yeah, man, and I appreciate all the love I've been getting for all the Onyx Back the Fuck Up album review I did a couple of days ago. I think like last week or some shit like that. All right, so. Some CDs I bought probably a couple months ago, so I just want to show you guys those CDs real quick. All right. First, I want to show you guys is "The Head of the Door" by The Cure. This was released in 1985. You guys should know The Cure is English rock group, from England, obviously. Known for like that really dark, somber goth sound and things like that. The likes of like Susan the Banshees. Cocktail Twins, Bauhaus, people like that, Joy Division, like that kind of sound. So they kind of always, people would like to affiliate that sound with, along with The Cure. I believe this is like the sixth album. This came out in 1985. This is when like this album, they kind of went more pop compared. They kind of alienated their dark sound that they're known for like the earlier albums, like 17 Seconds, Faith, and Pornography, that post-punk or that, goth rock that, people love of them, including myself. I love those albums, those three albums I mentioned. This album was like more pop, definitely more new wave-ish, if that makes sense. The thing with this album definitely got them more, they became more accessible in the United States, you know what I mean? Because, even though like goth rock was popular in the United States, that was like more of an underground sound. Whereas with this album, they went more pop and it just went more. They were more accessible in the United States and that kind of thing. I think the singles off the album, I believe, is "Close to Me" and "In Between Days." The only songs I really liked, honestly, was Kyoto Song and Push. Those are the only songs I really liked. Everything else was kind of to me, you know what I mean? But not the best in my opinion. I know some people do like this album. Not my favorite, but yeah, this is The Cure with "The Head on the Door," released in 1985. Alright, next album. We're still in the Cure kind of side of things. We're gonna go with Disintegration. This was released in 1989. This is a very fucking dope album. Classic album in my opinion. Definitely one of their most revered albums. This is the album that kind of went back to their old roots with that dark sound that I mentioned before, with the likes of like, this 17 Seconds, Faith, Pornography. They kind of went back to this sound, you know what I mean? Really dope album. Really enjoyed this. Some people say this is their best album. I'm not mad at that because this is a good album. You got songs like, so it's like the way the track list is like, all around type of shit. Plain Song, pretty dope. Picture of You, Love Song, Last Dance, Lullaby, Fascination Street, Prayer for Rain, the self-titled track, Disintegration, Homesick. I mean, this album goes hard, man. The thing with this album, it definitely doesn't sound like it was recorded in like 88, 89. This sounds more like a continuation of Pornography. It has like a more, but look, with a cleaner sound, that makes sense. This sounds more, it was recorded back in like 83, 84. You know what I mean? It just has that feel to it, you know what I mean? Like, if you had told me this was recorded in like 85, like 84, I definitely would have believed you, you know what I mean? So it definitely doesn't sound like anything from 89 in my opinion. But like I said, this is when they kind of brought back their older sound that everybody loved from them. But yeah, The Cure, Disintegration, released in 1989. Dope shit right here. And then the last of the Cure series, I got the 1992 album, Wish. This was released in 92. The singles this album was known for, I believe, is High, Friday I'm in Love. Yeah, I'm in Love. And I believe that was it. I'm not sure. This album was okay. This album was like more, it has like a more alternative sound to it. You know what I mean? not my favorite album, but it's a pretty decent album. I like songs like Open, Apart was pretty cool. From the edge of the deep green sea, Doing the Unstuck, Trust, A Letter to Elise, Cut, Tuition, Possible Things. Those songs were dope. I like those, but like it's not my go-to. I'm a fan of their early shit, the early '80s shit. 17 Seconds, with Faith, Pornography. Definitely need to get my hands on those. And I definitely want to get like the deluxe edition, like the 2005 reissues that came out at that time, because they got the demos and the instrumentals, that kind of thing. Also with this album, they actually came out with an EP called Lost Wishes, which was like only a cassette only, and it was like a mail order type of thing. So it's like an exclusive thing. Like if you was like part of the fan club, like you get it, that kind of thing. But all it is pretty much like instrumental joints that they recorded during the sessions around this album. But I believe this album was recorded like 91 or some shit, like 91, 92. So like songs around that time, like around that was recorded in 91, like instrumental version that they make the album, that kind of thing. So I would like to hear those. So, but yeah, The Wish by The Cure, released in 1992. All right, now we're gonna get back into the hip hop side of things. That everybody loves me talking about. Next album I want to talk about is Fat Joe with his 6th album, All or Nothing, released in 2005. Around this time, this is when he was beefing with 50 Heavy, that kind of thing. This was a decent album, but you can definitely tell he went more pop with it. This is when he was rocking with Cool and Dre, Heavy, you know what I mean? So, I know Safe to Say, The Incredible, that was like a single. So much more, that was a single as well. You got songs like Does Anybody Know, that was pretty dope. Safe to Say, The Incredible, love that joint. I remember mad people freestyling with that beat. That shit goes hard. I even like So Much More. I like the beat for that. That shit was pretty dope. It definitely has like that nighttime, like nightclub, like that nightlife kind of feel to it. Like you kind of go into like an exclusive luxury club, you know what I mean? Some like on some like Batman shit, some Bruce Wayne type shit, you know what I mean? Like some exclusive shit, that upper, echelon utopia. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, it's just like that beat just kind of has that feel to it. Really dope. Was not crazy about My Fault. That shit was trash. Okay, nobody says that was so whack. I didn't like that shit at all. Another song I like, Easy to Get In, that was pretty cool. Temptation Part 1 and 2, that was pretty dope. I wasn't too crazy about So High featuring R. Kelly or the Lean Back remix. I wasn't crazy about that. The Beat Novocaine joint, woo, fire, son. That shit was hard, man. But yeah, decent album, man. Decent album. Not the best, but it got some decent joints. But I'm more of a fan of his first 4 albums. The Represent album, the Jealous Ones Envy, Don Carter Gina, and the Jealous Ones Stole Envy. I gotta do a review on that album. So, and I need to get Loyalty. And I also like his Me, Myself, and I album that he dropped back in 2006, right after this album. So yeah, this is Fat Joe with All or Nothing, released in 2005. Alright, next album, I got J.O. Felony with his 2nd album, What You Gonna Do. This was released in 1998, 3 years after his first album, Take a Ride, which is a dope album, very underrated in my opinion. Yeah, sorry about that, yeah. So yeah, man, pretty dope album, really like that, really dope. What You Gonna Do with Method Man and DMX. The story I heard about that, shout out to Doggy Diamonds, man, and shout out to J.O. Felony. He did an interview with J.O. Felony, and he said that originally it was supposed to be Method Man and ODB, but I forgot what he said. But then he replaced it with DMX, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Turn it down, sorry about that. But dope tracks like Nobody on Dryland, that was pretty dope. How Angry, 8-Ball MJG, that was pretty dope. Easy to Get In, whew, fire. Sorry, I mixed that up with the Fat Joe, so I do apologize. Easy to Get In, that was pretty cool. Nitty Gritty, I'm Deadly, Bumpin' Bullet Loco, fire. Oof, that shit goes hard. Love Don't Love featuring Cocaine. Finish Shit on Them with Mac 10. End of the World, J.O. featuring Ice Cream E40. This is a pretty dope follow up from Take a Ride. But obviously, I love Take a Ride better, obviously. But this is a good album. It's a good follow up from the first album. I do have his Crip Hop album. I do have that. I don't really remember the album too much, but I gotta revisit it. But yeah, it's a decent album. But this album was dope too. J.O. Felony will watch What You Gonna Do, released in 1998. Really dope shit. Oops. Alright. Next album is KRS-One with The Sneak Attack. This was released in 2001. In a nutshell, this album was trash. I did not like this album at all. There was a couple songs I did like on this album. I like Attendance. That was pretty cool. Hot. That was a single. I remember back in the early 2000s, like 2001, Rap City used to play the shit out of that song Hot. You know, that was like the biggest thing off the album. I Will Make It, I like that. And the Raptism, those are like the only songs I like from this album. Everything else I wasn't too crazy about. Yeah, man, the problem is this album was heavily edited. Like, there's no cursing. This is like edited. I don't know if there's like a manufacturing error or something like that. Not sure, but I didn't really care for this album. The cheesy ass album cover too. Like, I don't know, it's trying to be like, I don't know, it's like Special Forces, like Perfect Dark type shit. Like, I don't get it. This is, what the fuck were you thinking, man? Like Perfect Dark or like some like I don't know, some like I don't know. This is wild. I didn't really care for it. But yeah, KRS-One, Sneak Attack. This was released in 2001. Alright, next album, I'm gonna go with Young Bleed with My Own. This was released in 1999. This was like the first album because he originally was part of No Limit. He dropped one album from them, I believe, and then after that he left the group. Yeah, pretty dope album, pretty decent. I believe the single of this album, I believe, was All They Left Me Was the Streets. I believe that was the single of the album. But there was some pretty dope joints on here. You got songs like Treacherous, Time Is Money, A Minute to Breathe was pretty dope. Give and Take was pretty dope. To Be a Soldier. Everything else was okay. I wasn't too fond of it like that. But yeah, it's a pretty decent album. But you know, I would like to hear the No Limit album that he dropped. So definitely would like to get my hands on that. So, but Young Bleed, My Own. This was released in 1999. Dope shit. Alright, next album. We're gonna go to Philly real quick. We got Young Guns with Tough Love. This was released in 2004. I showed you guys their second album, Brother From Another, which I was really too fond of. Wasn't too crazy about that album. There was a couple songs here and there, but it was like pretty forgettable. That album didn't really sell very well. But this album right here, fucking dope. I know No Better Love was a single, and Can't Stop Won't Stop was a single as well. They got the remix on here, which with Chingy. Wasn't too crazy about that. But yeah, man. Yeah, because Can't Stop Won't Stop, I believe, was on the State Property, the Chain Gang album, Volume 2. Another dope album, very, very dope. That was big when I was in high school. But you got songs like Future of the Rock, dope way to start the album. Rock You featuring Beanie Siegel. No Better Love was pretty dope. Never Take Me Live featuring Jay-Z, that was pretty dope. Tough Love, the self-titled track, that was pretty dope. North of Death. Look in Your Eyes featuring Cameron. Woo! That's probably my favorite song of the album. That beat, man, that shit goes hard. Take It How You Want It featuring Sparks or Amelia Sparks. Parade, Time, Life We Chose. Yeah, pretty dope album. A lot better compared to their second album. But yeah, Young Guns with Tough Love. This was released in 2004. I mean, this came out like around my senior year of high school, so it was like 04. But yeah, Tough Love with Young Guns released in 2004. Alright, next album I want to show you guys is my guy A-Preem with Wargaudd. This is released in 2020. Shout out to my brother, the General. It's my brother right there, man. My boy from Chi-Town, man. But you would think he's a New Yorker, man. This is the way he rolls and shit, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, that's my brother right there, man. I produced 2 joints on here. I produced Depths of Hell and Fatal Transactions. I did 2 of those beats, so definitely check those joints out. Fatal Transactions has a video for it. Grim Sacraments was a single. Fatal Transactions was a single. Typhoon Beheaded was a single. And Carbon was also a single as well off this album. Yeah, man, this whole album is fucking dope, man. Probably my favorite track off the album is Israfil. Really enjoyed that. That shit is dope. And I'm not a dick rider. We can say like, oh, my favorite tracks is the stuff I made. Nah, I like the shit that A-Preem did. Like, he just had like a dope, dark basement boiler room kind of sound, and I love that, man. So, but yeah, this is pretty dope shit right here, man. You know what I mean? You like that dope, dark underground shit? Definitely look no further, man. Wargaudd by A-Preem, released in 2020. Dope shit right here. Alright, next album. I'm so happy to get my hands on these. These last 4, like, to me, like the creme de la creme out of the bunch. These like a more rarer, that kind of thing. So, finally got my hands on these. So, definitely had to get on. Definitely had to show these out. Next album, I'm so fucking happy I got this shit. I'm so glad I pre-ordered it before, you know, that shit went out of print. Royal Fam with Black Castle, released in 2020. Yeah, is it 2020? Yeah, 2020. This was released out of the Back to the Source record label. I think they based out of Belgium. You know what I mean? They specialize in like rare albums, like unreleased, lost. The ones of many, because, you know, Chopped Herring, shout out to Chopped Herring, Back to the Source, Gentleman's Relief, which went out of business, unfortunately. They're based out of Australia. But yeah, man, this album is fucking dope. This album originally was supposed to be released back in like '96, but due to like label politics, it never came to fruition. The biggest single of the album is Something Gotta Give. That was a single of the album. Was a single of the album. You know what I mean? There was a video for it. You know what I mean? Pretty dope shit. Army Brigade was another big song of this album. Fucking dope, man. Yeah, man. Fucking Something's Gotta Give. Love that. Army Brigade. That was pretty big, like in the underground circuit. It's So Hard. Woo! Love that joint right there. March of the Hooded Soldiers, that was pretty dope. Once Upon a Crime, whoo! That's probably one of my favorite songs of the album. Off With Your Head, that shit goes hard. I Declare War, that's another song that was big in the underground circuit as well. Well, definitely one of the more popular songs. All the King's Men, another dope underground joint. Rules, love that joint. It just talks about the ills of the industry kind of thing. Black Castle, I mean, this whole album is fucking dope. If this album had came out back in like '96, like it was supposed to be, I think it would have been in the talks of like all the like the Wu offshoots, the Wu affiliates albums, like, you know, like a Killer Army, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, you know, Sons of Man with The Last Shall Be Last. You know, all these older affiliates, man. It definitely would have been up there with this album. And the only difference with this was that with the story of this album, like I said, it got shelved. But then in 2005, it was re-released by Nature Sound Music. But the album went out of print really quick, and I believe that they only sold that shit as a CDR. You know what I mean? So, which is kind of crazy. And it was really hard to find. So I downloaded that shit for a while. And then also, too, in 2000, they dropped an album called Yesterday, Today is Tomorrow, off Wu-Tang Records. I believe the single of the album, was called Legacy. But the thing with that album, it was at the time when it came out, it was really hard to find. Reason being is because it was only released in Europe. particularly like the UK, Netherlands, and I'm not sure if that had anything with Silver Rings being part of Wu-Tang Records at the time. I think that's when he jumped ship with Wu-Tang, and he had his ties with Wu-Tang around that time. And him being from the Netherlands, I don't know if that had anything to do with the what the distribution of that that said album. You know what I mean? And a lot of Wu-Tang Records releases are kind of hard to find, so to speak. And then if you was to get that album in stores, you would be paying like the import prices. So at that time you probably paying like $25-$30 and shit like that. So again, really hard. It was hard to find in the States. So you know what I mean. So I would like to get my hands on that someday. But it is hard to find. Not the best album in the world, but it's good to have just for collector's sake. But I would like to get that album one day. Another album that I would like to get my hands on as well is Shaheem's third album, Manchild, which was also released in Wu-Tang Records as well. That came out in '99. But that's another album that's kind of hard to find too. And it's up there in price. So it's kind of expensive too. I seen it go for as much as like $30 or some shit like that. It was some craziness like that. So which is kind of crazy. But yeah, man, dope album. Love this album. Unfortunately, this album went out of print quick, which I knew would happen. I pre-ordered that shit, I think, back in like October of last year, and I got it, I think, a couple months later. I think like 4 months later, some shit like that. I don't remember. But finally got my hands on it. Love this album. So if you guys like all those like classic Wu fam albums, like Killer Army's Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars, the Killer Priests, Heavy Mental, or even the likes of like Iron Man, Cuban Links. Like this album deserves to be up there with those albums in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. But really dope album. Glad I got my hands on this. So this is a Royal Fam, Black Castle. This was released in 2020. It was originally supposed to be released in 1996. Dope shit right here. Alright, next album. We're gonna go to the West Coast, Sacktown, aka Sacramento. Finally got my hands on this album. We're gonna go with Sibo with Till My Casket Drops. Til My Casket Drops. This was released in 1998. Fucking dope album. Love this album. Love the dark production on this album. What to expect with him, DJ Darrow, Mike Mosley. That dark production that they serve, that complements his style so well. Like not for nothing, like Mike Mosley, DJ Darrow, Sam Bostic. Those are some of my favorite West Coast producers. I don't really hear too many people talk about that. I guess maybe because, them being from the Bay Area, because when you think of West Coast, most people always go for like LA, you know what I mean? They don't really talk about the Bay Area like that. And if you talk about the Bay Area, they always talk about E40, and there's no shots to E40. E40 got some shit. But yeah, this album right here, fucking dope. Glad I got my hands on this. This is the promo version, but fuck it, you know what I mean? Pretty dope. I believe the single off this album is Money by the Ton. Fucking love that joint right there. This whole album goes hard. Ride Till We Die, that goes hard. Deadly Game is a very controversial song in itself. The story with that is that I think at the time he was on probation, and there was a line that got him in trouble because he was taking shots at Pete Wilson. At the time, Pete Wilson was the governor of California, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about the three strikes law, and a lot of people, even to this day, are very against that law, you know what I mean? And because I think he was the one that I don't want to say he started it, but he kind of spearheaded that whole three strikes law, and he passed that back in '94, and he took shots at Pete Wilson, saying like "fuck Pete Wilson," that kind of thing, and that got him in trouble, you know what I mean? So just had to throw that out there. So but yeah, Deadly Game was pretty dope. Major Pain and Mr. Barcelini, that was pretty dope. Hard Labor, Raising Hell, Can We Ball, Desperado Outlaws, Professional Ballers. This whole album is fucking dope, man. Really, really dope. Sibo with Till My Casket Drops. released in 1998. Dope shit. Then we got Sibo with his Final Chapter album. This was released in 1999, right after this album right here, right after Til My Casket Drops. Love this album, pretty dope. I know some people have like mixed feelings about this album. The thing with this album was that this was like pretty much an album. Felt like more like a compilation album. Reason being because this album is featured with a whole bunch of like features. What happened was that I think AWOL Records at the time, they were like really shady. Just the same thing with Black Market Records. With that being said, a lot of these songs were like unfinished verses by Sibo, and what they did was like they just had whatever verses that Sibo had at the time, and just added like the affiliates of AWOL Records. And I think at this time he was incarcerated at the time, so Sibo didn't really have any creative control on this album. But I really enjoyed it. I like the beats on this album. Shout out to my boy Ross Harley. He does not like this album at all. He prefers Enemy of the State, which I think is crazy for that. But hey, to each his own. But I respect his ear. But shout out to my nigga. You got songs like How Many, Best Recognized, Player to Player, True to the Game, Still Mashing, Mobb Deep. Fucking love that. That's my favorite song of the album. Love the beat for that. Yeah, it's a pretty dope album. Dope follow up of Til My Casket Drops. Not the best, but you know, pretty dope. A lot of features on the album, but yeah, dope shit. And this is like, I believe this is the last album that he dropped under AWOL Records, and this was under New Tribe Records. So yeah, Sibo with the Final Chapter, released in 1999. And the last album we got is Reno with The Story from the Black Book. This was released in 1993. This is the 2019 reissue. I'm pretty sure you've heard my rant with this album. So for those that don't know, I did a video a couple years back. So pretty much what happened was I went to his website and I ordered the album. Long story short, I sent him the money, I think through PayPal or whatever, and he didn't put the album, he didn't send it out right away. He was just giving me some bullshit to where like, I'm like, yo, where the fuck's the CD? What, you know, whatever, you know, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Long story short, he sent, like, you know, we was going back and forth with, you know, that kind of thing. And I was patient, but I was getting impatient at the same time. And then he sends me the album, but it was a fucking CDR. That pissed me off, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Because even the original pressing for this album goes for a lot of money. You know, expect to be like $60 and up. You know what I mean? 50, 60 if you're lucky at that. And that's cheap, you know, unfortunately with that album. But got this album, Smoke on Records. As you can see, this is number 89. So it's kind of like a, you know, like a limited pressing, that kind of thing. My only gripe though, they give you the choice. You get it either digipack or a jewel case. I ordered the jewel case. They give me the digipack. That pissed me off. I'm pissed about that. I love my jewel cases, man. But I'm just glad I got this album though, man. Finally got it. But you know, you got songs like Step Into the Mind, Fourth Dimensions of a Universe, Never Give a Freak, that version, the aggressive version, Children of the Concrete, Going to the Clinic, the self-titled track, Death of a Politician, Cartoon Orgy, dope shit right there, Choose Your Weapon, Warren South Park, dope shit, dope album. I prefer his second album, Danger Zone, over this album. A little bit more darker than this album. But this album was a little bit more sample heavy, whereas Danger Zone had like a more like the synth, like more organic synth production. So, but yeah, Stories from the Black Book by Reno, released in 1993. This is the 2019 reissue. So, finally got my hands on this. Thank you for that. On that note, hope you guys enjoyed that CD collection. Definitely stay tuned for more CDs. More videos. Definitely working on more reviews. Yes, I will be working on the All We Got Is Us album and all the other albums. So definitely stay tuned for that. Alright? Y'all be easy. Peace.